Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloweener. I am trying to make Thursdays my new stream time, and so far I'm 2 for 2. What's up? As you can see, I am repping Jurassic Park today. Tried to be a little festive for the holiday and all that. Do a special Halloween stream. I will let everybody know the weather isn't like horrible here, but I'm a little gun shy after maybe bad choice of words, but I'm a little hesitant after the last couple of strong breezes we have has knocked out my power, which is freaking insane. Like I don't live in like the middle of nowhere country. I'm actually pretty rural, and yet my internet has went out, or not just my internet, my whole power has went out. First it was the hurricane and whatever, but now it's strong winds. Last time it was barely breezy, but I guess somebody's tree fell on something. Hi, kitty. Hope the cat wants to say hi, everybody. Say hi to her while I do a few cleanup things. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Hope, I think you are in the way of everything. Yeah, hi, kitty. We're super professional here on the stream, quite obviously. She likes my hat. Yes, you are cuter than I am, but please be gone. Good grief. Anyway, sorry, I'm like I've said in other streams, they don't let you set up everything right off the bat, so I'm fiddling around with stuff as I go. How's everybody's week been? It has uh it has dragged by for me so far. I've done I've done a lot of yard work, got that done, but the sun's going down real low, so it's been something for me lately. Trying to get stuff done, try to beat the sunfall or sunset. Yeah, you know what I mean. Trying to get all that done, but anyway, we have a big slate of topics today. I'm honestly very excited about. Excited to talk about it and all that. Let me add a few more things here. Get the Rumble stuff. Oop. Edit. All right. Getting stuff underway as we go. Bam. Okay. And what is the stream URL here, everybody? Let me get that. Isn't that special? But yeah, we got Disney to talk about. We got we got Dragon Age, the Veilguard. We got Concord's whole studio being shuttered because it was such a colossal failure. We've got Ubisoft continuing to cope and seethe over their failures, and they're just flat out admitting failures at this point. They're not even trying to hide it, which is just fantastic. I love it. Love every minute of it. Hey, at least be honest about it, man. But yeah, we've got talk about AI in movies. One, the voice of a very famous actor is being used via AI, whereas the another very famous actor is saying if AI is ever used after his ultimate demise and all that, that he wants his family to sue and all that. We're going to talk about all that. You know, fun, fun stuff. I will say, if you want to follow me, I am officially on. Why isn't it letting me post? There we go. I'm officially on Getter and Truth Social. If you want to follow me, I try to stay active on there as much as possible. Build an audience on there. Trying to build an audience everywhere I can. Getter is just at Marks on Media. I think the same on Truth Social. Truth Social is kind of. I just did that because it's another social media place. It has nothing to do with political affiliations or whatever. I heard there's like I really don't use True Social hardly ever. I mean, I post on there, but it's at Marks on Media on True Social as well. like I said, I'm on there. I don't really use it a whole bunch. What is going on? I just realized my camera went out. God dang. Not the right camera. We're super professional, folks. Told you that. All right. Anyway, God, that's what I get for clicking around on different screens, I guess. All right. Anyway, I am all over the place. If you want to follow me on social media, um, bumpy start to the stream already, but I am at Marks on, or excuse me, at Marks underscore on underscore media. Somebody already, some a hole already took Marks on media, but Marks on media with underscores in between on Instagram and X. If you want to follow me on there, Marks on media, tube, Marks on media tube on the Facebook, where I'm also live, by the way. But all right, let's get right into Disney. Disney, these nuts. Not going to share audio from that. There we go. Okay. That Park Place. Let's jump right into this. Disney World single day with Lightning Lane premiere cost $2,000 for family of 4. Yikes. Who the hell can afford that, man? Let's see. Give me 1 second here. Hang on to your wallets, magic lovers of all ages. Walt Disney World has implemented the Lightning Lane Premier Pass for their 4 theme parks, but the cost could cost you to or cause you to faint. Not so long ago, going to Disney World, Walt Disney World Resort meant that part of your base experience included the ability to skip lines for major attractions. It was a novel idea called Fast Pass. The system allowed guests to insert their tickets into a machine at the entrance of a ride. As a result, a piece of paper would print out with a time for the guest to return later in the day for an experience without any wait. Of course, the ticket was returned as well. Once the guest enjoyed the attraction, they would be able to get another fast pass for another attraction. There were variances of this as time went on, but one of the great value adds for or at Disney was the ability to use fast pass system to enjoy more attractions than most families would have otherwise. Oh, I love that ride. I know it's for kids, but I rode that with my wife when they were about to close, um, and it's honestly a super fun ride right there. Um, or working with customers while I stream here. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, after the pandemic, however, things have changed. I've talked about this before. I went in 2016. That's not how it worked in 2016. You had to have an app. At least that's how we did it. And you only got 4 a day. So, and maybe it was because we didn't stay at the resort, I don't know, but, you had to download the app, it had the map on the app, and then you pick the ride, and you pick what time you wanted to be there, and, if it was available, you could be there at that time. Um, a nearly identical system called Lightning Lane Premier Pass is here, and this one is going to cost you. Launching on October 30th, we now have the prices for a lesser crowded kind of day. Let's just say it is going to set you back a few. Guest Guests purchasing the Lightning Lane Premier Pass get the ability to use a line skipping Lightning Lane. Yes, Fast Pass is still trademarked by Disney and sounds better. One time on nearly every attraction. But even before guests can purchase the Lightning Lane Premier Pass, they're going to be required to stay at a deluxe resort. Those are the hotels at Disney World like Grand Floridian, Contemporary, Polynesian, and Animal Kingdom Lodge. In other words, think expensive. These hotel rooms average about $700 a night. Yikes, pile all into one room. Even then, ah, that's a lot of dough just for one friggin' night. Anytime I see anything above like 150 a night, if it's I realize it's not a vacation like a hot vacation spot or whatever, but anytime I go somewhere on vacation, like if I want to splurge, I'll do 150 a night for like a really nice hotel for me and my wife. But other than that, like you've got to be friggin' kidding me, man. Uh, let's see. These, yeah, $700 per night plus purchased your resort tickets, but now you can buy the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. Here are the prices via WDW Magic. Today's prices, October 30th, 2024, is Magic Kingdom 329, Epcot 169, Disney's Hollywood Studios 269, Disney's Animal Kingdom 129. Wow. For a family of four, that's $1,316 before tax to get what was a free service at the Magic Kingdom. Imagine going on from something that was free to something that costs $1,000. Add in the average cost of the hotel room required. Oh man, hi buddy. More kitties on stream. But add in the average cost of the hotel room required to get access to the service in the first place, and you're already at over $2,000 per day. How much this could cost Disney adjusts prices for crowded days near the holidays is anyone's guess, but we're expecting bank account busting totals. Yeah, that's you can say that again. That's insane. Who the hell has that kind of money to spend on a vacation? I mean, I guess if you're making six figures, you're probably more likely to have that kind of dough in the bank. But hot dang, man, I can't even if I had that kind of money, it's like, why would you want to spend that on Disney unless that's like your one thing? I don't know. It's nuts. But that's just the first part. I have another Disney World related story here, and it's at Animal Kingdom here in Disney. I'll get to that here in just a second. Man, I'm getting really frustrated here. Okay. You ever try to find something, you're doing the control app, and there's like 5,000 pages. Good grief. All right, here we go. Anyway, let's get to ba-ba-da-da, da-da-da-da. Oops. All right. Disney files permit for Encanto and Indiana Jones rides at Disney's Animal Kingdom. That could actually make Animal Kingdom good because right now I know they've got the which was the Everest ride, Escape from Everest or whatever the hell it's called. But other than that, there's not really much. And then the this isn't a ride; it's more of an experience. But the Bugs Life thing where you go into the tree and you sit and they do like a whole interactive show. That's cool. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot of value, honestly, in Animal Kingdom. It's hot. It's always hot there. There's not a lot of shade. It's very annoying, and even the restaurants, like there are two restaurants that serve pretty much the same food, but one is outside and cheaper, and the other where so you have to sit outside with the animals, like birds. I've literally seen birds swipe in and steal food off of people's trays, and then and you're sweating your butt off, or you can pay like a lot more and go sit inside with the air conditioning. Like that's how they get you, as my buddy Greg used to say. Uh, but getting back to this, the Disney company has filed a major permit with the South Florida Water Management District to begin construction on its new Tropical America's Land. This area will feature attractions themed to both Encanto and Indiana Jones. The new area of Disney's Animal Kingdom will replace the existing Dinoland USA, composed of Chester and Hester's Dinorama and the nearby dinosaur attraction, formerly known as Countdown to Extinction. Yeah, I think we completely missed that when we went. That's what it's gonna look like. I guess they're indoors, which to my previous point, adding more indoors attractions at Animal Kingdom is not a bad thing, in my opinion. I think that would be very welcomed. But let's see here. Yeah, okay. Um, So, including with the permit was a demolition plan, which breaks down exactly how Disney plans on removing the existing attractions. Based on the plan, the first area removed will be Chester and Hester's Dinorama, which you talked about. This includes Triceratops Spin, a series of carnival games, and the Dinosaur Treasure Gifts. Disney closed and tore down the area's centerpiece attraction, Primeval Whirl, in 2020. Okay, so the Dinorama area will be transformed into an Encanto section for the new land. Uh, and it goes on about that and what. So they're gonna have. That's what it's gonna look like. So it's all gonna be indoors. So it's gonna be like daylight all the time, sun shining, whatever, and you're gonna see the uh the house there. What casita? Is that what it's called? Yeah, casita. Cool. Can you walk through casita? And Maribel's gonna be there, obviously. And then greet Princess Merida off the side of the Cinderella's castle by the path of Tomorrowland. Let's see. It features into Epcot's new World Celebration neighborhood as well, with a musical show taking place several times a day throughout Communicore Hall. Okay. So here's that's what you're gonna be riding in like that little Jeep thing, going through, seeing like a show, an Indiana Jones show. Kind of reminds me of if anybody goes to the what is it? I'm trying to think. If anybody goes to the Hollywood Studios, that's what I'm thinking of. There's like a movie ride in there where you go through, and it's like they act out like different scenes from like classic movies and different stuff like that, kind of. But it's like you're going into different eras and different movies and yada yada. Um, so it's kind of cool. This sorry, something I'm looking at for work is just odd. It's throwing me off. But either way, so this space will be a lush and sprawling, featuring a large fountain in the center where villagers like to gather and tell stories. Additionally, a woodcarver has created a giant working carousel featuring his favorite animals from Disney's stories. It's a take on a classic attraction that young families are going to love. Okay. A Mayan pyramid. Okay, so that's what the dinosaur attraction will become a Mayan pyramid, which will house the new Indiana Jones attraction. Okay, cool. I guess they already have this in Disneyland, the Indiana Jones Adventure attraction. If anybody has went to Disneyland, they previewed this at D23 earlier in the year. Okay. No word yet on whether an adult version of Quan's short round character will appear at the attraction. All right. But that's kind of cool. They're doing something to actually make Animal Kingdom tolerable and worth a visit. Because my wife and I talked about like if we come back, when we come back, whatever, we're gonna kind of skip Animal Kingdom probably, or if we do go, we're gonna make sure we get park hopper passes. So maybe we do a couple of things in Animal Kingdom and get the F out because there's, like I said, there's nothing there to hold you. So I really don't know. But yeah, so Disney's doing some cool things. I think they're trying to keep up. I've talked about this. They're trying to keep up with Universal, who they just unveiled some stuff for their new Dark Universe that's going to be in their Epic Adventures park at Universal Studios in Florida. And Disney's, for once, playing catch up with them because everybody's excited, everybody's hyped about that, and everybody's kind of down on Disney. Nobody's really hyped about Disney, Disney World, Disneyland, any of that. So yeah, they've been. I think they already have the Lego World out at Universal in California, Universal Hollywood. So they're bringing it finally to Florida, and they're adding in like a new section, a third section to the Harry Potter area. It's just in time for not just in time, but the new show's coming. But we don't know when exactly. They haven't even finished casting yet. So, but either way, that does it for Disney. They've I don't know. They keep jack. I say this every time. Like, it's so stupid. You can't get anybody to come to your parks on a consistent basis. You're losing money. You're hemorrhaging not only money, but you're hemorrhaging like people coming to your parks. So what do? You crank up the price. Makes a lot of sense. But let's get into some video games. I got a lot of stuff to talk about with video games here. I was thinking about getting into. I heard the original Dragon Age was very good. A lot of people like it. A lot of people are really into it. Nobody's into this one. Nobody. Again, from that Park Place, BioWare allegedly scrambles to remove gameplay footage of Dragon Age Veilguard Virtue Cringe. Oh, yeah. Propaganda in our entertainment has become a real problem, and it's one that the video game industry is just beginning to suffer under fully. After the events of 2020, many major game companies committed to bringing on consultation companies that were supposed to help them diversify their storytelling. Instead, games of today now having been in development often since even before the pandemic, tend to look like educational courses in divisive ideas than sources of universal entertainment. Yeah, and these lovely looking characters there. Still, as much as it has pained us to see the gaming industry damaged by losses such as Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, Dustborn, and more, we've reached a new level of awful with Dragon Age Veilguard. According to a veteran gaming developer, the situation is so bad that BioWare is allegedly attempting to have certain gameplay sequences struck from the internet. I'm going to stop sharing just for a second and see if I can bring this video up. But since they're striking it, I'm going to have to pause it every once in a while. But let's enjoy this. Just I'm gonna have to excuse my frequent pauses here, but I don't want to get taken down here by just a god awful company.
His nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand.
Okay, so she said she's still holding the ruby, and yeah, check it out.
Maker's panties. I was so proud. Oh,
Okay, here's where it's about to get awkward. By the way, does that guy have like blood on his jacket, or does it just look like blood? I can't tell.
Shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
I try not to have swears. I forgot there's stupid swears in this video. I saw it. I saw it and like blocked most of it from my memory because it's so god awful. So I apologize. This is supposed to be a family show, but yeah. So as you can hear, she said she's still holding the ruby, blah 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 blah, and then the Asian lady is like all like squirmy and well actually and then the big beastly woman is like not that big beastly woman with the horns or whatever the hell that thing is. This big beastly woman off to the with the tan skin there. She's like, oh crap, sorry. Yeah. Let's see what comes after. It's not any better.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh. Okay.
At first, nice pause face. Hell yeah. At first, I thought she said pulling a barf or pulling a bath. And I was like, what? And then she goes on, just on and on with this. Here,
A barv?
I'll play a
Tradition
little bit
in
of
the
it.
Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, basically saying she basically goes on to say, well, actually, this guy, whenever he said something stupid, we made him do push-ups.
For big drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. Oh, we do push-ups because it's better, than a big drawn-out apology. And she'll
Pulling a
explain it.
barb.
Here. Let's see. That's very open-minded.
I'm glad the Lords of Fortune have Tarsh's back.
Oh, Tarsh isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Of course not. Let's talk about, we're in a fantasy world with fantasy creatures. Let's talk about being non-binary. I mean, technically, isn't literally everybody there? I don't know how genders work in fantasy creatures, but good God.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours.
Huh.
Ugh, Lord. And then let's see. Skip ahead a little bit here. I can only stomach so much of this here. My internet is just being awesome today.
Pants. And out of them too.
Okay, so she's super horny for non-binary people, apparently. And boom goes the dynamite. What is going on here? It's not even playing. Not sure I want to play any more of it. Basically, to tell you what... Oh, here we go. Why not just apologize? This is the...
Any
this is the
reason
best
you can't
part
just
here.
apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with.
I mean, yeah. I apologize even if, I don't know. I don't apologize for any of that crap. But then again, I don't go on misgendering sprees. But then again, yeah, why else do you apologize?
Trust me, I know. But pulling a barb, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows
Yeah, let's
the other person you mean it.
yeah, let's think about it a little bit more. Let's think about your gender identity a little
What
bit
if
more.
they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make
Oh, heaven forbid you're really sorry and you want to show them, oh, I'm really sorry about that. I apologize. And heaven forbid that you're not robotic. But so they want you to grovel, but if you grovel, it's not good enough. It's all about you.
make it about them. Oh, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose.
Yeah, okay. And that what's wrong with and see, the thing is, if someone says what's wrong with that, I don't see anything wrong with that, then they'll go, because you're the problem.
They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth
Oh yeah,
it over and make them feel better.
yeah, that's what it is. Okay, that's the best part of it, and by best I mean worst. Barf, man. That is what they're dealing with, and they are currently ripping that off with prejudice all over the internet, mostly X, because X is the only place where there's a little bit of sanity, not much, but some. Let's get back to this here. In that captured footage by Mark Kearns, aka Grums, who happens to have been the project lead on the original World of Warcraft, Dragon Age features a character making a modern-day grammatical faux pas in a fantasy world. And it goes on describing it, and he says, EA and BioWare are yanking this clip off the internet as fast as it can be posted within minutes. They know it's terrible, just like the rest of the game. Watch it while you still can. Unfortunately, I did. So, yeah. This is disgusting. It's insane. I'm not even I've made my opinions known on this crap before, like the actual ideology, whatever. But it's not even about that. It's just like the fact that they're jamming this into a fantasy world game, and they take out this huge, like this big chunk of time to have the characters talk about virtue signaling with gender identity and all that garbage. Like, are you freaking kidding me, man? I don't know. I don't understand who is going to see something like that and be like, I need to spend money to buy this game and get lectured on if I mess up with somebody's preferred pronouns, then I'm the bad guy. And if I apologize, I'm also the bad guy. Um, but on the other hand, like I should just do push-ups to apologize. Like what the I don't even get what they're trying to put across here. Like, oh, don't get all weepy and emotional when you apologize, but also don't try to fluff it off and move on when you apologize. Like, do push-ups. Like, how about I just give you the middle finger, take 2 of these, call me in the morning? Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. My God, one of my cats, speaking of doing something terrible, my cat is tearing something up. But anyway. Yeah, so that's Dragon Age the Veilguard. I like seriously, who the hell is buying that thing? I did hear that I think it's called Dragon Age Origins. Is that it? The first Dragon Age game? Games. Let's see. Dragon Age. I don't know if Inquisition is any good. Dragon Age. That's the only one I'm seeing. Heroes of Dragon Age. I don't know. Dragon Age Legends, Dragon Age 2. Yeah, Dragon Age Origins. Okay. I heard Dragon Age Origins is really good. But I'm not seeing anybody who, after seeing footage of this, is willing to pop their head out and be like, man, that's awesome. I love it. I want it. You can create your character. Like you can create your character with like top surgery scars and whatever, even though it's a fantasy world where you could magically change your gender, most likely. But no, you want to do that instead. Okay. Doesn't make a lick of sense. It's like wiping before you poop. But anyway, getting into, by the way, I want to take a quick pause to thank you all for being here on this Halloween stream. That's why I'm dressed like Alan from Jurassic Park and the last Jurassic World movie that was terrible. I didn't want to. I have a visitor, like a park visitor pass, but I don't want to like wear it on camera because I didn't know what I don't want to put labels on stuff and piss off anybody with the stream. So I didn't do that. But if you are here, please follow me or subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell if you're on YouTube. If you're on Rumble, definitely follow the channel. I'm also on Locals. I'm on Kick. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm not live on Instagram or X, but I'm on there. It's at marks_on_media on Instagram and X. On Facebook, if you want to follow me on there, it's Marks on Media Tube, because that's the best I could do, unfortunately. Rumble, you can find me if you go to rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/@Marks on Media. But anyway, getting back to this. From one terrible company to another. All right. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot confirms Assassin's Creed Shadows delay is costing the company an extra 20 million. Is that pounds? 20 million pounds? I don't know what that translates to, or is that euros? It might be 20 million euros. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot confirmed that the company is spending an additional 20 million, whatever that is, Monopoly money, on Assassin's Creed Shadows by delaying the game to February. Oh, no. It's already a money loser. Ubisoft announced back in September that it would be delaying the game to February 14th. It wrote a press release, quote, Assassin's Creed Shadows will now be released on February 14th, 2025. As for why, the company explained, quote, while the game is feature complete, the learnings from the Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time for further polish the title. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fully fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventures with Naoi and Yasuke, bringing two very different gameplay styles. Cool. Target ended. Did they mean because Star Wars Outlaws, which we're going to touch on here in just a second, was super buggy and messed up from day one? Is that what they mean? Because it was, and people were like, crapping on it and laughing at it, as was I. I have a full video of showing clips of how buggy and terrible it was, because no companies just don't have beta testers anymore. They make you pay them to be their beta testers. So yeah, and they thrust these unfinished games upon you, and then they're like, "Oh no, we got a day one patch or a week one patch or whatever the f." It's so terrible. So is that what they mean with this, or do they just mean they're changing the whole thing because it sucks? I highly doubt that one, but I mean, you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point. Furthermore, the company revealed, we are departing from the traditional season pass model. All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-order the game will be granted the first expansion for free. The company concluded, the game will mark the return of our new releases on Steam day one. Oh, it's going to be a Cleveland steamer, all right, dropping on Steam. In an official post on the company's X account, Ubisoft's Mark Alexis Cote elaborated, quote, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a dream project for us, finally bringing the series to feudal Japan with many features developed with our community in mind, such as parkour or renewed strength brought by technology, all set in a beautiful and immersive world that is fake, which I don't mind fake. Like, that's what it's supposed to be, but they took a person who's ostensibly real, like Yasuke was a real person. This Yasuke was not a real person. They lied about him from day one. They gaslit people from day one. And here's what we got. That's what pissed people off. That's why you had such a backlash. And everybody who loves Assassin's Creed wanted feudal Japan. And you're like, yes, and we will rip off architecture from China, which, wow. We won't understand the customs. We will lie about their history. We will pretend that Amazon bought weapons from animes are exclusive from this game. Just holy cow. They've done so much stupid stuff with this game. This is an ambitious addition to the franchise, a rich experience that can be lived through the eyes of two unique protagonists, but we realize we need more time to polish and refine the experience, further pushing further some of our key features. Yeah, so there's only so much you can polish a turd, bro. Yikes, this whole thing, this whole statement again. Somebody is at my door. Give me just a second here. BRB media. Okay, they were people I didn't want to talk to. So that's the one bad thing about working from home. Maybe I should take that off the screen. I'm back. The one bad thing about working from home is like everybody and their brother uh needs your attention in the middle of the day. So okay. Anyway, but getting back to this, I just let's see what they're saying real quick before we move on. I just want to see what they're saying about the money they're spending. Poor Ubisoft, wasting more money. Now, during the company's first half 2024-25 earnings figures conference call, Gamot was asked by BMO Investor on Assassin's Creed Shadows. You guys said you delayed the game. You keep saying it was feature ready. So I'm curious when you went through and looked back at the games. Were you guys finding bugs? Looking back, were you glad you moved? And I think you talked about an extra 20 million Monopoly monies in development costs for doing this. How is that tracking? Gamot responded on Shadows. What we had said was that on the back of what we saw with Outlaws, we need to really make sure that we come with an impeccable player experience. Of course, there are always some bugs, but we've been focusing and continue focusing on making sure that the day one experience will be well optimized, whatever the F that means. And then he confirmed, yes, we spent a lot of money. Gamot's confirmation that delaying the game to February would cost an extra 20 million Monopoly monies appears to lend credence that the company is not just doing bug fixes and polishing, but could be making significant changes to the characters and the game's story. Wouldn't bank on it, man. Wouldn't count on it at all. Why? I mean, yeah, they're spending a lot of money doing something. I don't think it's just like little bug fixes here and there, unless the game is completely broken and they're just now figuring it out. Yeah, I really don't know. But we have another disastrous Ubisoft story here. Speaking of that broken game they were just talking about, that I said, yeah, I have a full video where I'm dunking on all the bugs and the crap going on with this game. People were like, "Oh, I love it." I'm like, okay. Ubisoft announces Star Wars Outlaws underperformed sales expectations despite achieving solid reviews. Who gives a crap about the reviews? The company revealed that its net bookings came in on the low end of its revised expectations for the second quarter at just 352.3 million Monopoly monies. The company originally expected to have net bookings of 500 million Monopoly monies, but significantly downgraded those expectations to a range between 350 and 370 million after Star Wars Outlaws sales were soft and X Defiant underperformed. Who could have foreseen? After everybody and their mother crapped on this game. Let's see. So anyway, speaking specifically to Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft reported that the games underperformed sales expectations. Despite this, Ubisoft attempted to spin the game as a positive, writing, "The game achieved solid reviews and user scores across first-party and Epic Store reflecting one of the most immersive experiences of the Star Wars universe ever created." Sure. They also said, let's see, the teams are fully mobilized and implementing changes to enhance game mechanics and overall polish. Since launch, the team has delivered 3 title updates focused on quality of life features and bug fixing, notably improvements in stealth mechanics, NPC AI, and save features. That is ridiculous. This game just came out. It has not been out that long. I swear to God. Like, why do you need a fix? Like, why do you need 3 big fixes already? It's been out for what? When the hell did this game launch? Let's see. Wars Outlaws release date. I just got to confirm August 30th. Okay, so it hasn't even been out for 2 months. Okay, I'm sorry, 2 months as of yesterday. What the hell are we doing? 3 major bug fixes and AI tweaks in 2 months? Like, I know people will say, well, that's the norm now. It shouldn't be. Why do we expect garbage? And when we're okay with garbage and we give into garbage, we get more garbage like this. Ubisoft keeps serving up the slop. We're not supposed to be pigs and just eat up what they throw in the trough. Good God, people. Have some self-respect. Oh, my God. Okay. Sorry. Continuing on with this article. Talking to, like I said, talking to customers while I'm freaking out about video games. Love it. From there, it claims that these changes have delivered tangible results, but does not share what those are, but instead claims it has seen a meaningful community sentiment improvement. Sure, I mean, when you set the bar on the floor, it's easy to step over it. Those words are meaningless given Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot used similar words while attempting to defend at the time analysts' expectations that the game would sell or would only sell 5 million units in the quarter and the belief that it was a lower number. Oh, man. Okay. Just a quick sec here. I gotta see what this idiot says. Guillemot said back in July, quote, what we have factored in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws that reflects the fact that it is among the most awaited games of the industry this year and a really strong positive community sentiment. And also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for a Ubisoft game. So that's what we've been factoring in the second quarter. And yeah, they're is that what the dude looks like? Douche. It's been rumored that the game sold around 1 million units in its first month, with Insider Gaming's Grant Taylor Hall writing, quote, we have secured a current sales figure from sources close to the game. At the time of writing, Star Wars Outlaws has ticked over 1 million sales worldwide, end quote. However, all available public metrics indicate that the game's sales completely stagnated soon after the game released. The game is no longer on True Trophy's top 40 most popular PlayStation games chart. Similarly, it is not on True Achievement's top 40 Xbox gameplay chart. Wow, look at that. It has actually declined over 99% if you look at average viewers and compare it to the average peak of 45,490 when it launched in August. Phew. That is a huge dip, I'll tell you what. Like, the people played it, they picked it up. There are some normies out there that don't know about, they don't follow any of the game news. They just saw, ooh, look, Star Wars game. Ooh, look, open world, and they bought it. And I will admit, when I first saw a trailer for it, I was like, cool. The pro tag looks kind of weird, but whatever. I can get over it. She looks like her hair's been, like the ends of her hair has been chewed off by a dog. But regardless, and she's got the Jay Leno chin going on. But that the crimson chin. But either way, like I thought, okay, it looks okay. And then you start learning more about it. I'm sure the normies popped it in, or downloaded it, whatever the F. They played it and they went, wow, this sucks. They didn't even wait for the patches. Like I said, 3 major patches for bugs and AI within 2 months is unacceptable. Like, we need to just reject this stuff and just vomit it back up every time. Show them, look, you need to hire beta testers. You need to have actual gamers play this. Don't just have IGN give you a 7 out of 10 like they always do and write up some fawning piece on IGN.com and put out some little stupid video on their YouTube talking about, oh, look, this clearly sucks from what you can see with your own eyes, but I'm going to talk about how awesome it actually is and how much fun I had. No, dude, it blows. Like, get actual gamers who are going to give you an honest opinion to vet these games for you. And like I said, get beta testers so that, you get the bugs out. Can't do that, though. Either way. That's it for Ubisoft. Going back to the why DEI in games it's actually a good thing, you see. I've got one article about that. I'm going to try to brush through a couple of these. This one, former games journalist attempts to gaslight gamers about DEI consultants. We've been getting this a lot. Emma Kent, a former games journalist at Eurogamer, who now freelances as a mock reviewer for video game developers, attempted to gaslight gamers on what DEI consultants are doing. This is what, what's her name? Elisa Mercanti, editor for Kotaku, has been doing for a long time. All these people are so stupid. They think that these consultant groups are running video games. Like, nobody said they're running them, but they're telling them what the hell to do, and they're telling them what the hell to change. They themselves said if you won't do it, they're going to threaten you. And be like, oh, it sure would be terrible if these hit pieces came out about your game and how terrible and racist, sexist, and homophobic you are, right? Right. Anyway, on a thread on X, Kent wrote, "Hello, a game consultant here. The idea that consultants are forcing diversity into games is ridiculous because 99% of the time, the devs have already decided that they want their games to be inclusive and just want to help fine-tune how certain stories come across. Hope this helps." Sure. Yeah, here's another one I reported on before. Sweet Baby Inc. employee admits goal is burning the games industry to the ground. That, and yet they keep getting hired. So, yeah, no, but we're the crazy ones, you see. In a subsequent post, she continued, "The people peddling this conspiracy theory are fabricating rage bait content to grow their YouTube channels and social media followings. They do not understand how the actual industry works, nor do they care to learn because they are simply seeking engagement." She added, "The fact that this has been brought up again in reference to Dragon Age the Veilguard is particularly laughable. Have the people throwing these forced DEI allegations ever actually played a BioWare game?" Okay, so because the entire company is DEI focused and the entire company is woke, that makes it better somehow? Okay. First off, DEI consultants are indeed trying to force diversity into games. Sweet Baby Inc. used to make it very clear that this is what they did. Their website used to state, "Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone, except white, straight men and Christians." During the 2019 Game Developers Conference, Sweet Baby Inc.'s CEO Kim Belair, screw her, also suggested that developers working at AAA studios terrorize their employees in order to hire consultants that push the woke agenda. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about right here. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for, and when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, I say that out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true. Because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing, and you have to deal with mitigating harm, with them keeping the sentiment around their games and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you could impress upon them because ethically and financially, you could say this is important. Yeah, lie to them, threaten them, do it. As she got to the end of her presentation, Belair would admit that she is going, what she's doing is injecting wokeness into the video game industry. Quote, none of what we're doing is about ticking boxes or about a veneer of wokeness. We actually have to care about making this stuff. Okay. Yeah. We have to care about threatening gamers or game studios rather, and their employees. We have to care about that. We have to terrorize. It's insane. It's pathetic. It's sad that the games industry has come to this, but here we are. And yes, like the word gaslighting has been used way too much, in my opinion. Man, this is taking forever. But at the same time, like, you know, when it's real, it's real. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? We have a few more stories, y'all, to get through. I just want to pound through some of these. Giggity. One more game story, and then I'll pause for station identification. This one, it should be quick, but funny. Yeah, people lost their jobs. I'm sorry, but when you are bad at your job, you deserve to lose it. I don't know what else to say. But Sony and PlayStation shut down Concord developer Firewalk Studios. Sony Interactive Entertainment and PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst announced that it has shut down Concord developer Firewalk Studios about a year after it purchased it from Probably Monsters. Oh no. That at that time, it was only 7 years into making this abomination of a what is it? Not Fortnite. What is the one I'm thinking of? I don't know. It's a I'm not going to tell you now. It's a ripoff of another game that I hate, and I can't think of it now. But either way, might be Fortnite. In a post to the Sony Interactive Entertainment website, Holst wrote, quote, as part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE's studio business, we have had to make a difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios. Speaking specifically to Firewalk Studios, he said, quote, regarding Firewalk, sorry, I got a pop-up that you can't see. Regarding Firewalk, as announced in early September, an important update on Concord. Certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players, and as a result, we took the game offline. Yeah, dude, it flopped harder than I've ever seen a game flop. We have spent considerable time these past few months exploring all of our options. Yeah, because you sunk a lot of time and money into it. After much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. Good luck in your future endeavors. There you go. There's not a whole lot to say about that one. Just rip bozos. That game got like no players. I think like the max players on that thing were like a couple of hundred at a time, and it dipped significantly after day one to like double digits. It was embarrassing, especially after spending almost a decade and millions of dollars on this thing. You can't even break 1,000 players at a time. It's an absolute embarrassment. Overwatch. That was the game I'm thinking of. Overwatch. I don't hate Overwatch. I just don't play it. But yeah, this is a woke Overwatch wannabe. You got the short, fat dude who's like a human, like if a Fupa was a human being. You got some other like characters you'd see in the inner city, some alien looking things, and a giant they them character. It's just, yeah, so rip Firewalk Studios. When you do a bad job, you lose your job. Don't know what else to tell you. But we are done with the games news, so we'll get out of that for a little while. I did want to pause to let you know if you're on YouTube, I appreciate you watching. I hope you follow, or excuse me, I hope you subscribe and click the notification bell. If you're not watching on YouTube, but you want to be watching on YouTube, you can check us out, youtube.com/@ Marks on Media. I also have wrestling stuff on there I post. I'm trying to post it every single Friday. Tomorrow I got a new video, new retro wrestling review on No Mercy 2006. It was the debut of MVP. King Booker was running wild as the world champion. Big star-studded show. And William Regal had just a barn burner of an unadvertised match with a returning, I know some people don't like to talk about him, but returning Chris Benoit. Great match, great show. Well, the whole show wasn't great. The whole show was it had highlights, but some of it was like, dude, this is what we're doing. Anyway, getting into what is something is playing in my ears. I apologize. It threw me the hell off. Holy, sounds like what the hell, man? I really don't know. Wow. I hate when background ads play and then, like, you look up and down the page and you can't find it. Anyway, so, if you wanna follow on social media on X and Instagram, it's at @marks_on_media. If you wanna follow me on, Rumble, you'd rather watch me on there, I would appreciate that. It's rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. And I also got all my wrestling stuff on there as well. I used to go do the Main Event Marks podcast with my buddy Greg before he passed away. All those archives are still on the YouTube channel. And you can check them out. We're still, if you want to listen, we're still on. You can find us on iTunes and Spotify and all that. All the archives are on there as well. But I would suggest going to the YouTube channel. You can find them all in video form on there. And what retro wrestling reviews is kind of like a boiled down video accompanied version, because before it was just kind of like moving pictures or whatever. Now it's like actual video of the event along with like a boiled down review of just the event. Whereas the podcast archives actually have like news from that week that the event took place, sometimes that month that the event took place. So you can go check that out. And I post new content on my YouTube every single day. If it's shorts or long form videos, I'm doing the same on Rumble, not the shorts, but you can also follow me on Getter. It's at Marks, or excuse me, at Main Event Marks. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting all my usernames mixed up. At Marks on Media on Getter. Gosh. Facebook, if you would give me a follow, that'd be great. It's facebook.com/Marks on Media Tube. There. All right. Now I got it all out. Let's get into the TV news, shall we? All right. From Deadline. I'm waiting for something to load on my other computer. It's just being crazy. But anyway, from Deadline. A24 revives Stephen King fantasy epic fairy tale Paul Greengrass cracking 10-episode series with Fringe showrunner J.H. Wyman. Revives? Like, what do you mean revives? Like, I need to read the article, I guess. Let's see. Exclusive. A24 has taken on the Stephen King bestseller Fairy Tale. The dark fantasy will be mounted as a 10-episode series. Paul Greengrass, who wrote a script and expected to direct the feature, is expected to still be in the middle of things. That script will be expanded by Greengrass and J.H. Wyman, who will be the showrunners and whose credits include Fringe, Almost Human, and Debris. Haven't seen any of those. Peter Rice will be the executive producer along with Greengrass, Wyman, and King. I've heard Greengrass will likely be involved as director, but his deal is not yet done. The other deals have closed. The novel sparked a bidding battle back when it was auctioned in late 2022. Universal Pictures closed the deal on the strength of the relationship with the studio that the studio has with Greengrass over the Born Identity films, United 93 and News of the World. I don't care about that. This was King's first real foray into fantasy fare, and the book clocked in at 600 plus pages. Yeah, it's well, I'll get into it. I'm listening to the audiobook because I like to multitask and whatnot, and it's a big ass book. It's like 24 hours of audio. I was like blown away. Like, dude, I what is with him and gigantic freaking books? That's all I've got to say. But this was King. I read that. Published by Scriber, King's fairy tale follows 17-year-old boy who inherits the keys to a portal and enters a terrifying world where good and evil are at war. The stakes of both worlds are immense. The magic in the tale is King taking his time to frame out the world of the teen, Charlie Reed, and a kindness he extends that eventually rewards him with a magical sundial that gains him entry into the portal. I mean, the magical sundial does not gain him entry into the portal. I don't know what he's talking about. That's incorrect. That leads to an epic battle of good and evil, but it doesn't happen until about 100 pages in. Yeah. As happened with King tales like The Stand, this just works better in long-form storytelling. Very true. After years in various executive suites, Rice has gotten his new career as a producer off the ground with Saturday Night, the Jason Reitman directed feature about the harrowing 90 minutes that Lorne Michaels, cast and crew, spent before the cultural atom-splitting moment occurred when they launched Saturday Night Live. Rice is also working with Danny Boyle and Alex Garland to expand the zombie tale with 28 years later. Yeah, I don't care about who they're repped by, blah, 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 blah. So part of that was true. Part of that was not. So yeah, the kid, Charlie Reed, I'm not going to spoil a lot of it here, but it goes into his tragic backstory and his dad and his family and whatever. It's not as, I mean, it's got darkness to it, but it's not like as typically like just so bleak and dark like most King stuff, which like this book definitely stands out from a lot of his stuff. He helps an old man who falls, breaks his leg, and he's kind of a recluse, and he's got this big German shepherd that's old like he is. And so when the guy has to go to the hospital and get surgery, whatever, he stays with the dog. He develops a relationship with the dog and the guy. Some things happen, some weird, mysterious, whatever, and he kind of finds out that, hey, there's a magical world. I'm not going to spoil past that, but it's definitely worth a read. Let me bring it up on my phone here. I've got it on. Like I said, I like to multitask while I while I listen to audiobooks here. See where I'm at. Okay, there. I don't know if it'll come. Yeah, Stephen King fairy tale. Right there. I'm about. Oh, geez, shut up. Sorry, my phone thought I was talking to it. I'm about 9 hours and 41 minutes into it. I got 14 hours and 25 minutes left to go on this thing. But yes, it does work better in long form. Most Stephen King things do. It would work better as a series. It's cool they split it into 2 parts. They've kind of done that twice already. It's fine, but you're still leaving a lot. I mean, the book's like that effing big, man. How are you going to do that in just 2 movies? You couldn't do that with Lord of the Rings. I realize that's like 3 books, but I think it is about the size of 3 Lord of the Rings books. So anyway, Fairy Tale is very good so far. I just got to the part where he's actually in the world and finding stuff out and seeing how things go and whatever. And it's interesting. I'm very curious to see what happens next. So there's that. Speaking of curious, excuse me, about how things will turn out next. Give me just a second here. Okay, anyway. Let me get into this. I'm going to try to cut this off at an hour and a half. I can probably bang through these next 3 stories in less time than that, but has anybody seen Fear Street? There was like 3 of them back in I don't even 2020, I think 2021, maybe 2021. This will probably tell me, but it's really good. It's like a 3-part thing. It's got I'm not going to tell you her name, but the young lady who plays Max in Stranger Things is in it. She's in the 2nd or 3rd one, maybe both. Either way. So Fear Street Prom Queen, Netflix shares behind the scenes look at new sequel. A new Fear Street movie is officially confirmed by Netflix last month, and today sees the streamer offer the update that Fear Street Prom Queen is officially in production. Much like how the previous trilogy of films based on the iconic R.L. Stine books series took audiences to other points in time, this new installment will take viewers back in time with a new setting, in this new entry being 1988. Okay, just a nitpick. I'm tired of going back to the 80s with everything, man. So played out. That's why I said I like the new, if anybody watches my review on the new Salem's Lot, it goes back to the 70s. It's like, okay, at least it's a different era. Like, the 80s, man, so played out at this point. But the initial trilogy of films were largely shrouded in secrecy during production, with the streamer taking a different approach to what insight they offer fans about the experience, with the below video including a number of behind-the-scenes looks at the terror that is set to unfold. I'm not going to play the video, but Fear Street Prom Queen is now in production. Netflix captioned the video, "Welcome to Shady Side High. We're going to have a killer time." Yeah, there's a video. If anybody wants to go watch it, there's the new cast, blah, blah, blah. The new movie described "Welcome back to Shady Side" in this next installment of the blood-soaked Fear Street series. Prom season at Shady Side High is underway, and the school's wolf pack of it girls is busy with its usual sweet and vicious campaigns for the crown. But when a gutsy, outsider is unexpectedly nominated to the court, and the other girls start mysteriously disappearing, the class of '88 is suddenly in for one hell of a prom night. Ooh. The new entry into the series is directed by Matt Palmer. Calibre, never heard of him, or it, whatever. From a script of blah, 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 I don't care. Starring in the film is India Fowler. Don't know her. Susanna Sun, don't know her. Fina Straza, I don't know any of these people. If you want to look. Yeah. Catherine Watterson. Yeah, I don't know her either. I don't know any of these people. Prom Queen will be its own standalone story as opposed to setting up a long-running storyline. That kind of sucks. This isn't the only Stein project on the horizon. Oh, I did not realize that this was by R.L. Stine. Okay, well, that must be why it was good. As his Goosebumps TV series was renewed for season 2, it's going to be starring David Schwimmer, who played Ross on Friends. I can't remember what the hell the new season is called, The Disappearing or something like that, something to that effect. It looks really good, but then again, I loved season 1 of Goosebumps. It's like teetering between like adult and kid entertainment. Like a teenager, like a little kid is not like, you shouldn't be showing a little kid this stuff. It'll freak them out. And they shouldn't be desensitized to this kind of stuff at such a young age, in my opinion. But anyway, like a teenager and an adult could like it. I mean, I'm in my 30s. My wife is in her 30s. We liked it. Fear Street was awesome. The first 3, we watched them back to back to back and had a grand old time with it. So I'm excited for this one. I wish it was another trilogy just because I love it and I want more. I will say it's safe as far as like there's no like nudity or anything like that. Like you're not going to see any bobs or vagine, but there's quite a bit of gore, So I mean, and not like it's mostly just like blood, but whatever. There is some gross out whatever because there's a serial taker outer to use a safe word. Anyway, last couple stories I got here are actually about AI in movies. I wanted to touch on because I thought they were interesting and kind of related. I am like one of the only people, I guess, excited for War of the Rohirrim. But whatever. They're bringing back Christopher Lee's voice because he's passed away. They're bringing him back as Sarumon in the movie using AI. People have different opinions on it. I get it. I totally get it. But either way, Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, writer Philippa Boyens revealed anime film will revive the late Christopher Lee's Saruman, but not with AI. I guess I was wrong. Not with AI. So I quickly read that headline. My bad. Sir Christopher would have wanted this. Would he? June 7th, 2015 remains one of the saddest days in the history of the Lord of the Rings fan base, as that was the day where they were forced to say goodbye to the late Christopher Lee, whose performance as Saruman in Peter Jackson's live-action film trilogy was so iconic that it's constantly cited to this day as one of the best villain portrayals in cinema history. Yeah, Christopher Lee's a boss. Was a boss. Whatever. However, despite his departure to the shores of Valinor and against all odds, the actor will apparently be making a posthumous return to the franchise in the upcoming anime film The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. The late Lee's return to the role of Man of Skill was confirmed by The War of the Rohirrim writer Philippa Boyens, who also provided her talents on all 6 movies in the original Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit trilogies during a recent interview given to theonering.net. Speaking to an outlet reporter known only by her handle of Green Dragon, while on the floor at the 2024 New York, at the 2024 New York, I mean, I think they mean Comic-Con, whatever. They never proofread their stuff on Bounding into Comics. That's my one gripe with them. Boyens explained that the idea to include Lee in The War of the Rohirrim was sparked by a really beautiful letter from Chris that he wrote to New Line Cinemas during the filming of Jackson's trilogy. Quote, "It wasn't actually at the end of the movies," recalled the writer of Lee's message. "It was out of the blue. He was in London and he wanted to write us. I think he missed New Zealand a little bit. So I have this letter that is framed in my office, and it's one of the few times I have ever done that." She noted, "When we reached out to Lady Lee, who is no longer with us, but is now with her beloved, I'd like to think she said that the thing that I think Peter Jackson felt in his heart, that Christopher would have wanted this." Okay. So but let's get into like how he's actually in the movie. So we went into his recordings. I got to back into it all. Okay. Again, poorly written. All hear his voice, not just doing the lines. I think she means aisle, but talking to us, and we were recording them. She said, "We based it on a line from The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, which is, 'Are you in need of assistance, my lady?' An utterance by Saruman to Galadriel upon discovering her under threat from the Nazgul at Dol Guldur. And we thought, okay, that's a line. We can see how many takes he did of that. Can we use it? Can we find a new read on it and change it up a little bit?" And our brilliant guys did that. But it is an authentic bit of Christopher Lee's performance, and it's based on that line. So is that the only line he has in the whole movie? That's a little bit of a blue balls there, kind of letting me down. So now I know the internet is going to say, of course, there's a million people who can do Chris Lee's voice, but you know what? I don't think so. She said, "I am so glad that we used his own voice, and it was fantastic." Okay, so it sounds like they're kind of doing what Robin Williams said they couldn't do with his voice back. Does anybody remember after there was a thing after Aladdin came out? I guess Robin Williams had it written into his contract because he went off the cuff all the time and ad libbed and whatever, and he said you're not allowed to use my extra audio in a sequel. Like, I have to physically record new audio for you. You can't use my outtakes. You can't use any of that. Obviously, Christopher Lee didn't feel the same way. Which whatever. But is that his only? I'm curious to know if that's his only line in the movie. I will be watching it, hopefully in theaters when it comes out. I gotta see. Let's see. I forget the actual date it comes out. I know it's December sometime. Maybe it'll say at the end of this. December 13th. Mark your calendars. December 13th. I know a lot of people are crapping on it. Oh, they changed the lore. Strong girl boss. I get it. But I love anime. This movie looks good to me anyway. I'll give it a chance. I'll watch it. And I'm a sucker for this. I even like the Hobbit movies. I don't love them. There are things about them that annoy the hell out of me because they're so inaccurate and they got so much added BS to them. But I don't hate them. But speaking of AI, we do have a story that is about AI that I wanted to close out with here. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. Thank you all for watching, by the way. I appreciate you tuning in, checking out. I hope you follow. And my live streams, I try to do the best I can, but honestly, I like doing the VODs better. I'm better in VOD form. Anyway, Marvel star Robert Downey Jr. vows to sue any Hollywood exec who tries to replicate his likeness with AI, even after he's dead. My. While the iconic Marvel Cinematic Universe portrayal of Iron Man may be a massive fan of AI, actor Robert Downey Jr. is not, as the actor has now made it clear that he intends to take legal action against any and all Hollywood execs who ever try to use the technology to replicate his likeness. Damn. Downey made it clear that all future attempts to depict him with AI would not go unchallenged during an October 21st appearance on the On with Kara Swisher podcast. Okay. Everybody has a damn podcast nowadays. The actor drew the proverbial line in the sand during a conversation about his time as Iron Man. He was asked about the show's eponymous host, or by the show's eponymous host, for his thoughts on whether or not Marvel would ever use technology to bring back his incarnation of the Armored Avenger for future appearances. Quote, "There's two tracks," he replied. "How do I feel about everything that's going on? I feel about it minimally because I have an actual emotional life that's occurring that doesn't have a lot of room for that. To go back to the MCU, I'm not worried about them hijacking my character's soul because there's like 3 or 4 guys and gals who make all decisions there anyways, and they would never do that to me, with or without me," he added. Met with observation from Swisher that future executives certainly will, Downey Jr. admitted, quote, "Well, you're right," before announcing, "I would like to hear state that I intend to sue all future executives just on spec." "You'll be dead," Swisher quipped back, to which the actor claimed, "But my law firm will still be very active." Yeah. While Downey was relaying his concerns about the hypothetical situation in a joking manner, his underlying message is clear. He's serious about protecting his image even after his time on the screen is over and he's in the ground. I mean, yeah, make that bag, make that paper. I get it. Whatever. I get it. I'm a little weirded out because they're doing it with Peter Cushing again in a project. I can't even remember what it was now. I saw it the other day that they're using AI to recreate Peter Cushing's face again in something or put his likeness in something. And I was surprised. One person was like, "Well, if it's going to be good," then I'm like, it's not about whether it's going to be good or bad. It's about like the guy's passed away. it's a little weird. And it never like it's always I'm sure it will improve in the future. I have no doubt about that. But man, it's a lot. It's I don't know how I feel about it. I really it doesn't sit well with me that somebody's recreating a deceased person and putting them in something that they didn't consent to be in long after they're passed. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess it is what it is. But that's that, man. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you all had a little bit of fun, at least, hanging out, checking out the news with me. Like I said, check out my VODs for sure. I spend a lot of time on those. And I try to give you as much quality as humanly possible with those. So I really appreciate if you check them out. Please subscribe on YouTube if you're on there. If you're on Rumble, I really appreciate it. And I would appreciate a follow on there as well. And I hope you stay up to date and notified with anytime I post brand new content, which is like pretty much every single day, Monday through Friday. I'm going to try to consistently go live on Thursdays around 1 o'clock. Like I said, going to try to make this my like permanent day for a little while. I know 1 o'clock I'm competing with people like the Quartering, which, especially on Rumble, he's drawn in big audiences and whatever around 1 o'clock. So, but yeah, I have a big archive of stuff on YouTube, plus new stuff coming up all the time. My wrestling reviews, if you're into pro wrestling, are evergreen because they're retro and whatever. So I've got the retro wrestling reviews posting every Friday. On top of that, I have just a huge archive of podcasts for the Main Event Marks I did with my buddy Greg before he passed away around this time last year. So he passed away like towards the end of November, early December. And that's when you can see the podcast officially cut off and I didn't do anymore. Just it didn't feel right, but I am going to try to do a special podcast with a couple of mutual friends of ours that want to do a memorial for him and his brother. We're going to try to have a good fun party with it and do a live stream to honor Greg and talk about some good wrestling going on today and in the past and our fondest memories and of wrestling and all that and bring everybody's spirits up while memorializing a good friend before Christmas time. But either way, if you want to follow me on social media, Facebook, I'm live on there every Thursday now. It is facebook.com/Marks on MediaTube. If you want to follow me on Instagram or X, it is at Marks_on_media. And I'm on Locals as well. If you sign up for Locals or if you become a member on YouTube, I'll start posting members-only content on there exclusively for you guys, and I'll take suggestions. Whatever you guys want to see more of, I'll make available on there. But I appreciate you all tuning in today. It has been a fun time to spend an hour and a half, and we will see you all. Let me see. We'll see you all next week. Happy Halloween, everybody.